All right, so we're still going with the app here. We've got most of our else, but we're now going to start getting into the comments. So we'll actually get into nested routes right now. So far we can list all of our beers, we can create a new beer, we can get a detailed view of a particular beer. I'm going to skip a couple of the possible routes we could have and just we'll add 2 more to get the basics. So let's do this. So what we want to do here is we'll add, we want to have for a particular beer, we want to look at all the ratings, let's say. So for a particular beer, we'll do /ratings. This is also going to take a beer ID. And our request here is going to be, because we need to access, it's not just a one-step process, right? It's not just getting a beer or getting all the beers. We need to get all of the ratings that belong to a particular beer, right? So we can do that. I'll break it up into 2 parts. So first we'll get the beer. Oops. And then what we'll do is we'll use that beer object to get all of the ratings. So we look at look at our models again. You can see I gave this a related field name, so I can access it by ratings. So beer.ratings all, and then let's do this. Return, and this will be we should be able to get all the ratings here, and then we'll pass that in as a context object. I'll copy from all beer, will be very similar. So this will be rating dot stars, what do you call it? Stars. We'll do beer. So we also pass in the beer as context. Let's try to do this. So rating dot beer dot brand. All right, let's give this a try. So beer1 / ratings. You can see this one only has 1 rating. You can check out the other beers ratings. So Miller also has 1 rating so far. So that works. So you can change and get all the ratings for any given beer.
Is that going to show the beer brand multiple times? If you had multiple ratings?
Yes. So yes. So that would probably be a better design to put it out here.
Cool.
But in this case, you won't be able to see the, let's see. Why did that do that?
Because it's rating of ratings. So you'll probably have to push in the mirror object.
Yes, sorry, yeah. Okay, so I'll leave that for, you guys can refactor on your own. Because but yeah, but that is a good observation. So I should, if this were like, you know, more robust, it would definitely, it belongs somewhere else. Okay. So good. So now we can get all the ratings for a given beer. And what we're going to do now is we're going to skip a couple possible routes and just we'll be able to add a rating for a particular beer. So let me close out. This will be new. So similar to here. So, but instead of adding a new beer, we're going to add a new rating for a given beer. So new. All right, so we have to go into our views now. We're going to add the new rating, and that will take a request as everything does, and also a beer ID. So this one's going to be a little bit more complicated, and we'll see. There's a So the basic pattern is the same. We'll do, you know, a request and post. This is gonna be a form, right? So I have to submit a new form. So if, can I spell that? All right, so the initial form that they get will be, so we're gonna have to make another form. So we have a form over here based on our beer, but we need to have an add rating form. We'll also inherit from model form. Yeah, I'll just do this. So there's a question here about what do we put in the form. So we could put all of the fields in the form, but then that's going to allow, so if I'm a user and I want to make a new rating, then I have to choose I have to choose the beer and I have to choose the user and I have to choose the rating. Seems like that shouldn't be, you know, these shouldn't have to do that and shouldn't be able to do that. So we're gonna have to figure this out. So fields. So for now, we know that they should be putting in the rating. And we'll add that tuple. There's only one thing in a tuple. You have to add a trailing comma. So let's go back to our URLs and we'll import that form. Do this. So add rating form beer. Oops. New rating. I'll copy from new beer. It'll be basically the same thing, just a form. All right, let's see if this shows up. Okay, so we have a form. This shows up. It's a drop-down menu, so we can choose 1, 2, or 3. And the database is just going to be an integer 1, 2, or 3. But we're not doing anything with the request. We're just showing the user the form. So we're going to have to handle the actual request. And it'll be very similar. So we'll take the form and we'll fill it out. All right, and we have to check if the form is valid. And then here's the tricky part, is we can't just save it because we don't have all of the fields. So if we save it right now, we only have the reading. So we won't have information about either of the foreign keys. And we don't want the user to have to explicitly tell us what those foreign keys are. So there's a way around this. And you can use, so when you use save, you can give it a keyword argument, which is commit. So by default, commit is true. So when you save it, it makes a commit. You can also set that to false, which will kind of allow you to pre-save it, and then you can modify it before you actually save it. So we'll do that. So the form is valid. So here we're saving the form with commit set to false, and that's going to return. It's going to return basically an instance that we can add properties to. So once we have that form saved, we can check. So there's 2 other things we need to add. We need to add rater and beer. So f.rater equals what? Well, we know that for free in Django, because of the middleware, we get a user object. So we can get the user object, and f.beer, we can get the beer because we're getting passed in the beer ID as a query parameter. So and then once we have all that stuff, our form is now complete. We have the user stuff. We also have, the stuff that it needs to have, but that the user shouldn't be able to mess with, and we can save it. Save it for real. Then, as usual with post requests, we'll redirect. And we'll just do beer / all beer or something. Maybe we should go to all ratings. All right, so let's see if this works. So notice I'm still signed in from last time. I have a session ID. So I'll, the first beer, I forgot what it was, but I'll give it 3 stars. Add a rating. Oh yeah, need to give it an argument. I'll just go to this for now. So I'll check beer 1, check all the ratings, and I have a couple new 3 ratings for this particular beer. All right, so we now have nested CRUD. We can create something new on top of something else new. One other quick thing is, restricting or protecting endpoints. So I'm just gonna do something real quick here. So let's just say that hypothetically we want anyone can create a beer, but only logged in users should be able to comment. So we can use a decorator function. Since we're using function-based views, we can use a decorator here. And there's a login required decorator, which we saw yesterday. Actually, I think that was, oops. Again, giving me the old stuff, but this should be the same still. Where is that? Anyway, it's Django contrib auth decorators. We got login required, and all we have to do is just decorate this here. And if we had the settings, the default login redirect, or we could tell it where to redirect in the settings, but we can also tell it specifically. So login URL equals, what is that? So users login, I believe that is correct. All right, so let's try doing this one more time. So ratings, let's try to create a new rating. I have another 3 stars. This guy's really stacking it. So beer. Oops. We have yet another one. Big Coors fan. So let's log out our user by just deleting the session token. We'll delete that too. Or I guess we could have just gone to logout. So let's log in. Actually, we're not going to log in. We're going to try doing that. So beer 1 ratings new, and you see I can't even go there. I tried going to the page and I immediately got redirected to the login page. So that is that. Are there any questions?